I'm Wayde Kirvida from CustomFIRE, and behind me is a new full response pumper we just completed for Frazee, Minnesota. This truck is built on a Freightliner M2 106 with a 380 horse Cummins L9. Has an Allison EVS 3000 transmission. It has a 1,000 gallon poly tank, and you can tell it has a front bumper extension with a external 2.5 inch discharge for a gated Y. The crew cab is our enclosed top mount full response crew cab. We have 2 speed lays. We have the swing out power steps. This is just a beautiful truck. I really love how they spec'd it out. The customer made some excellent decisions as they went through this process, and it's evident in the final product. We have coffin compartments up above the rescue body. We have slide-in ladder storage, slide-in suction storage, a rear intake, obviously roll-up doors. Maybe more importantly is the way they spec'd out their fire pump. They went with a 2-stage Waterous 1500 GPM fire pump, which is probably my go-to if I'm given the choice when I spec out a truck. It's a 2-stage pump gives you that versatility of operating in pressure if all you need is less than half the rated capacity. If you need more of a volume situation, you can certainly move into that mode while you're pumping even, and the pressure governor will automatically administer the engine RPM as necessary. This truck with a 1500 GPM 2-stage, the bulk of their operations are going to be under half the capacity of the fire pump. Car wrecks with a charge line and that sort of thing. You can operate in lower engine RPM. You're less prone to cavitation with a 2-stage fire pump operating in that manner. So, your impeller is going to last longer. It's just, all in all, a great, a lot more bandwidth than your typical single-stage fire pump. And that sentiment has been echoed by customers that I have who have, maybe questioned the 2-stage pump, but followed that direction anyway. And 2, 3, 4 years later, they're very happy they went with a 2-stage fire pump. On the driver's side pump panel, we have a little trap door which allows access to the transfer valve in case the power control fails. I'll probably never need to use that. Down here we have a foam refill. This is the FoamPro system, so it has its own dedicated pump to refill the onboard foam cell, and then you can flush or manually control the operation as well. Lift style drains. These are twist for the foam manifold, and then of course a large diameter intake and a 2.5 inch discharge. We have a removable panel on the side, as with all full response cabs, so just remove the fittings and pop those latches. The whole thing comes away, again, for just optimum access to the fire pump. We have pegboards in the upper level of the compartments here. On all 3 of them, you see it is a stainless steel body. My doors are blowing shut here, but each one of them has 3 air bottle compartments. And then in the front driver's side compartment, obviously we have a tool chest or a compartment. These have just become incredibly popular for cordless tools, couplings, adapters, hand tools. Just a sensible thing to add. Now over the rear wheels, we have a swing out, like a dual-sided tool board. It's a double sheet of pegboard sandwiched together so they can mount on both sides. And then we just have our typical rollout trays and some adjustable shelves in the rear driver's side compartment. We've taken a break from the wind to get in the crew cab here. And this is our typical full response crew cab. I really love how this truck is laid out. We have our 2/3, 1/3 arrangement where we have a cabinet here, command desk, poly overlay storage compartment here. But more importantly, just the component selection that this customer made. We have Akron electric butterflies for the side and rear intakes, and each one of them has a dedicated pre-primer. We have the Trident air primer here, which has auto mode and then a lift gauge as well, and then heat exchanger, pump cooling line, and then a nice large hand wheel for their master discharge on the passenger side. Across the gauge panel, we have the foam level gauge next to the foam controller. We have the transfer valve for the aforementioned 1500 GPM 2-stage fire pump. And then we have compound gauges, overheat protection, the pressure governor, and then the tank level gauge. And then we have the innovative control trigger style T-handles for all the discharges. So it's a very like a manually operated truck, if you will, kind of like that analog tactile feature, and just kind of minimal electric valves. And then over here we have another hand wheel control for the deluge monitor, switch bank, and heat and air conditioning controls here. And then here we have a rear view camera, which makes it very handy for watching the folding tank out the rear of the truck. And then with all interior top mount full response pumpers, we have this removable panel which just provides excellent access to the pump for inspection or service. In the forward portion of the crew cab up above, we have a wide shelf between two cabinets with lift up doors. We have some hand lanterns mounted here with charger bases, and then we have three rear facing Bostrom seats with the secure all air bottle brackets. So the truck seats a total of 5, 3 in the rear with air packs. The interior of the crew cab is 96 inches wide and 78 inches tall, so it's extremely spacious. It is soundproofed, and it is lined with a high density foam kind of carpet material. And we have sliding windows at the back, and the visibility out the rear is decent. It's not great because of the rescue style body, but it's certainly adequate. And then with the rear view camera, I mean, really that's where the business is going to get done, is by watching that for your folding tank. And then just excellent view outwards to the side, of course. We have a little smart detail here with we cut out the front sheet of the body so we can see the hydraulic reservoir level on the hydraulic generator. We can see the deluge position, and then, you know, we're looking at the coffin compartments and the hose bed from there. Not every call is a fire, obviously. Not every call requires the use of the fire pump or the pump panel. It might be rescue. You know, it could be a variety of things, but, you know, there might be the need for command or rehab, and this is just an excellent environment for that. It's quiet in here. Even when you're pumping, it's only like a 73 decibel sound level, and we have power strips. You know, they're going to have a radio mounted here. Eventually they'll have a thermal imager mounted in here. Their gas monitors, EMS bigs, just a variety of equipment that just kind of rounds out the functionality of the truck once it's in service. So this truck has pretty decent proportions. It's 33.5 feet long. Wheelbase is under 250 inches. So that's, you know, certainly shorter than a 4-door outside top mount, and equal in length to if there were like a custom chassis pumper equivalent. Within these Freightliner cabs, and an International for that matter, we can do a nice wide console. A nice switch bank. This is a cutout for their radio, traffic advisor, and electric siren. We have another camera monitor here. And then the dash is just a great workspace. So, you know, power windows, locks, the various drivetrain controls, traction control, locking diff, engine brake, USB plug-ins, cigar outlets. Back here we have some map pockets and the pump shift. So just a real great, you know, visibility, drivability, functionality, and safety all wrapped in one. I walked around the back of this truck and I decided I like it even more than I initially liked it, which is quite a bit more. So on the back, it's just really well laid out. We have a direct tank fill, we have a rear intake, a cord reel, and a pull-out tray in the middle. And then, you know, what I really like is that they put 2 ladders on the back of the truck, one on each side, so it's you know, it's more symmetrical, and it just gives you better access to the truck. We also have slide-in ladders, slide-in suction hose and strainer, backup camera, tank level light, traffic light, 2.5-inch rear discharge, and then of course the coffin compartments, but we even have some tie-off rings up above as well. And then down below we have a winch receiver with the trailer connection for you know, towing a trailer, hazmat, or what have you. So just all in all, a really well laid out truck on the back end. The opposite side of the truck, as with many is laid out for rescue functions. Here we have a couple pull-out tool boards. It's kind of a standard compartment over the rear wheels. But here we have a couple air bottle compartments without any dividers, and this is because they'll have their driver and officer air packs stored in here. And then the front compartment, of course, is laid out for their cordless rescue tools. All of us at CustomFIRE appreciate the time you take to watch these videos. We hope you've enjoyed the walk around of this full response pumper. If you're in the market for a new pumper, rescue, or tanker apparatus, we'd really love to hear from you. Visit www.customfire.com. I'm gonna use your bleepers on this.
On this side and talk about it.
It's our full. Do I have to give a shout out to all the little people?
All the people you had to step on to get here.
11 benevolent elephants. 11 benevolent elephants. Should I just do the Zoolander? The Oscar. Not as thinky as you drunk I am, Oscar. Ah, glorious wind. I'm gonna hold this. Why do I wear a hat jacket with a hood anyway?
Do you want to touch on the bumper at all?
There, I touched on it. It's gonna hold my toupee back for me here.
What?
Go ahead. Take all the artistic liberties you want. Is that casual enough for you? Oh yeah, go ahead, sorry.